Find it. Find that which is yours, and leave the rest to be unknown. Back in Shasta, on my regular hop in between the two worlds. Columbus must have known that he didn't simply find new land here, but an undefined world of pure potential, a quantum field of infinite possibilities. In Russian, we would call it Поле чудес, a field of miracles. But by observing this new world and presenting it to those who didn't make the journey to it on their own, he unintentionally collapsed this quantum field into a familiar, ordinary, 3D model reminiscent of the old world where he came from. The moment non-believers are welcomed to measure the magic, it's gone. It collapses into physical matter. The more non-believers and proof-seekers, the more ways to measure, the more physical things appear and less magic is left. And so it happened with the discovery of the new world. The world of numerical values and measurements, what some would call the matrix, once more penetrated the pure world of infinite, like a virus to which we, the observers, are the hosts. And the everlasting battle continued. A battle between our desire to gain knowledge and experience and the strength to let things be unmeasured and unknown. How deep can the numbers go? How far can they extend without? When do we say stop? That's not for measure. That is infinite. Why do we seek proof for that which we simply know to be true? There are mountains natives won't climb, heights to which they won't go, because indescribable beings live there. There lives the beyond, the unknown, and we simply respect it. In modern world, there is no reverence for the unknown, except to overcome everything on thy path that keeps him from being the first to discover it, the first to explore it. And so he pushes on through to reach, to observe, to record and report, for others to follow. There once lived quantum beings in this newly discovered field of miracles, deeply interconnected with both the physical and the unknown. They were the living bridges, but numerical people came and gave them names, mistakenly calling them Indians. The numerical people then took measurements of their divine bodies and covered them up in clothes sewn using numerical patterns. They measured their feet and put shoes with size numbers on them. They gave them jobs, identification numbers, and confined them to measured out parcels of land, thus pulling them straight out of the quantum field by defining every last beat of their existence. These shapeshifters, the glue between the physical and the divine, had difficult time being defined, unable to connect to the miraculous through their sacred dance and song and ceremony. They felt trapped within only the physical. They were forbidden to pass quantum knowledge from one to another. And quantum knowledge can only be passed in this way, orally, from one being to another, because that is the only way it can continue to freely shapeshift and morph, staying quantum by changing slightly with the way each person retells it. Native beings knew well that the moment they recorded something in writing or an image, it would no longer be quantum or infinite, and they honored that and did not keep written records, only drawing those being in the rock which they wanted to become finite and lose power in the astral. The moment something is recorded and then repeated, it gains a pattern. It collapses, becoming physical matter, and loses its quality of being omnipresent and infinite. With no or little native stories being passed around, there were fewer and fewer threads connecting us all to the quantum field. But not all is lost. Richness of a given territory and pure gold stands for the abundance saturating the hearts of its inhabitants. The newcomers dug deep, but with the wrong intentions, and instead of finding true value, kept finding and excavating hard gold. Unable to see beyond these shiny nuggets, they got trapped forever in the physical, held back from moving deeper into a life of meaning, restrained by their own shallowness. A world collapsed into existence by observers who couldn't see its true magic. How typical of our time. The settlers brought with them a veil of numerical values, science, mechanics, and certainties, and so the entanglement began. 5D quantum field yielding to the physical, through the eyes of the observer with questionable values. Whatever is left of this field of miracles is right here. And yet, our numerical things in the form of physical trash left behind are trying to make their way even here. Plastic bottles, brought into existence by irreversible formulas. Plastic sandwich containers, half-eaten canned foods. And just like these 3D containers make their way up to the pure places, toxins from within them are trying to make their way deep inside our bodies. Bodies that by default should shift easily between physical and quantum states of being. Formulated foods from within these containers are calcifying us from within, trying to define us, solidify us, trapping us within purely physical existence, preventing us from moving back and forth to and fro the field of miracles. The struggle to stay in motion is real, with ever more beings getting unstuck, shifting, becoming nomadic. It is our inner calling us, quantum peering through the calcium, as we are all born to be both physical and quantum. Unknown has a way of calling me. It brings me to these magical places and makes sure I eat of the land to unlock the true story. Woohoo! I'm finding them finally. I went up so high in elevation by foot. And look who is here. I found a small bump, and then I've uncovered these beauties. Oh wow, there's several of them. Oh hi. Well, let's now uncover them. Try to keep them as clean as possible. These are some of the dirtiest mushrooms you can find out there, but they're the best tasting. If they require a lot of work, that's probably why they're so expensive, but we don't mind, right? Hard work in the forest, any day. All right, I think I might have to put the camera down to unearth these ones. It's not easy to hold the camera and do it with one hand. So let's see what I can do so that you can guys watch me unearth it anyway. So let me place the camera somewhere. All right, I think I might need my knife for this one. Let's see. Usually people have these like screwdrivers or tools that go deeper in. Yay! And then you unearth. Oh my God, look how fresh it is. Guys, we're gonna clean this one up and look. Wow. Let's see for the other ones. I'll place this one on the side and we're going to gently, gently, gently get these ones out. Let's see which way does their stipe go, in which direction, so we don't accidentally cut the stipe. Oh wow. Okay, I think if we go straight down we'll be okay. Kind of go like this and then lift them out. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hello, how are you? Wow. Look guys, look at this mycelium. It's gray like ash. And look at these beautiful guys. Wait until I clean them up. Look how mycelium looks inside, where it comes from. Pretty cool, huh? All right, let's clean them up now. I can't get over, I want to bottle this smell. This is the most authentic, delicious smell I've ever smelled. So, Matsutake perfume, here we go. All right, let me clean them up and show them to you clean. So this is the bigger one that I found. Now it's all cleaned up. Look at the tapered bottom, and this there's like a tan spot usually on the top, and then it's sort of flaky, like what would I describe it? Like it's scaly in a way. Then here we usually have that partial veil, but not on this one because I cleaned it up. I was wiping it so that dirt doesn't get into the gills, because the moment the dirt gets into the gills, it's then much harder to cook it without having that sandy feeling between your teeth while you eat it. So I took off the partial veil because I'm not selling it, but people who do sell it, if you have the veil intact, the partial veil still there, I think they get more money for it like that. So the other couple is buggy inside. Although they're much younger, they were very buggy, and normally I would even take those, but since I'm not going home for the next couple of days, I just can't do it. I'm gonna take only the very healthy ones with me. By the way, they travel really well, but the bugs will continue to like eat the mushroom. So if I take the ones with me and I don't put them into a brine, salt water to like debug them, then by the time I come home, all I will have are bugs and no more mushrooms. So it happened to me before. I opened the bag and it's all just like a bunch of bugs. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to leave these here and take only the clean ones because we have a few days to go. And guys, smell. Look at this beauty. These are the best tasting mushrooms ever. And I didn't teach you this, but my guide taught me this. These are the only mushrooms that you can eat raw, if you identify them correctly, of course. Just found some more. Yes. And these are young. Let's hope they're not buggy. Let's unearth them and see. Ooh, this is what they call a grade A, fully veiled. And one more. there's something else up there. Oh, there's just a piece of it. And look how the mycelium whole looks so gray, like ashes. That's the mycelium. All right, let's protect the mycelium and cover it all back up. And thank this universe and thank the mushrooms for showing themselves to me. I think these will be fresh. Let's clean them up and see if they're buggy or not. But I think these are very, very hard to the touch, so that means that they're fresh. Let's go ahead and grab my towel. I forgot any other towel this time, so like a wipe thing, so I grabbed just my regular travel towel, and that's what we're going to have to go with. Oh yeah, these are still intact completely. Ta-da! Ah, look how beautiful! Oh my god, and how tasty! You guys have no idea. They're so tasty. One more! Yes! Found it! Found it! Oh my god, two more, guys! Two more! Yes! Yes, yes, yes! The moment I ask them to, I say, "Dear Matsutake, please show yourselves to me," and voila, they do. They do. I'm so slanted here, it is hard to film, but here they are, cleaned up, all cleaned up, my little beauties. Ta-da, ta-da. How amazing, right? And look at the mycelium, you guys. This is so fascinating. Out of this is the mycelium. Out of this comes this. How is this possible? Nature is pure magic, you guys. All right, let's go see if we can get some more. More. I just keep going around the same tree and I keep finding more. Oh, hold on. What is that? No, that's not it. But here, this is it. Hi. I told you have to dig for them, but it's not a problem. It actually feels really great. It feels like gardening. And then you just put the earth back on and that's it. And you got yourself a mushroom while gardening. Oh, I found another little piece. All right, let's unearth it. Okay, this is another grade A one. The veil is still intact and it's so plump and hard and stocky. Look at this guy. Let's clean him up and see how he looks without the dirt on him. Here's our little guy all cleaned up. Now my hands are super dirty, but that's what you gotta do when you want to get some fresh grade A matsutake for dinner. And this guy, you see how it's tapered towards the bottom, and that's the mycelium, the ashy part over there. So I keep it when I have to transport it to LA. I don't know if it does a difference or not, but I feel like it does, to keep it nice and fresh for a while. And this one is nice and fresh. Ooh. Hey, don't fall, don't run away. I'm on a slanted mountain here, so if it runs, it runs. All right, let's go and see for more. Just found some more by the roots of this tree. And this is a dead tree, but next to it is another dead tree. So I guess they grow by the roots of the dead trees as well. But look how beautiful these are, shining on the sun. The sun is illuminating their tops right now. Wow. All right, it's unearthing time. Let's get dirty. This is so fun and therapeutic. This is the best thing in the world. I'm so thankful that I get to do this. Thank you, dear universe. Thank you, universal consciousness. Thank you, Father Sky, Mama Earth, this dear forest, the mycelium, and the mushrooms. Beautiful little guys. Let's clean them up. All right, I say that this was a success. Look at my hands. We got so many mushrooms, plenty for my dinner tonight and for me to take some home to my children. So I think we're gonna begin to head down. It is a very steep cliff, so I'm going to put the camera down and pay attention to the descent. All right, I love you guys, and I'll see you a little bit later. Bye. Guys, this feeling driving with the windows open in the middle of the forest when it's almost fall time, when it's almost autumn, I can't describe it. It is indescribable. It is phenomenal. You know that the nature is going to fall asleep soon, and you're catching these last moments of the sun rays and the green, and but it's not sad, it's a celebration. We've overcome the hottest seasons. We're now in a harvest time, and soon the nature is going to rest before the next season unfolds. And it makes me want to burst into tears. How beautiful this is. Beautiful and calm, and how these cycles are so welcomed. Each cycle within nature, I can feel it. Nature is happy, you know, it is happy every day, no matter what it is, no matter what happens, because she knows that that's what's necessary. For the big picture, it's a natural cycle of things. Let it rain, let it snow, let it the sun shine, let it be green, let it be dark, let it be light, let it be all. And I wish you could feel this feeling. It's just a little bit cold already in the air, but still so pleasant. I love nature so much. Guys, I found mushrooms that slightly resemble matsutake, just the way they're tapered towards the bottom like this, and the mycelium is gray, but the caps are greenish. And there's another mature mushroom that's like this over here, and it has everything kind of like matsutake, but it's growing under a different tree. It's growing under Douglas fir, I think it is, not anything, not the red fir or lodgepole pine. So this is interesting. Let's see what it is. Let's try to identify these guys. Guys, it's getting super dark in the forest, and I had like this little adventure I'm going to tell you about a little bit later, but I decided to stop by this one more place, and I keep finding mushrooms everywhere. Some of them look like matsutake, but I don't know if they're matsutake, but they're tapered. Everything looks like matsutake. And then there is this bolete. I think this is the bitter bolete, the one that's like super duper bitter, but it's nice and fresh. So I'm going to keep it for identification. And oh my God, there's so many mushrooms everywhere. Oh wow. Look, these are, I don't know if you can see this one. This is the short-stemmed russula. growing right next to this bolete. And there are mushrooms just everywhere. Too bad it's getting so late. Short stem russulas. Everywhere. Everywhere. More short stems russulas. Oh my god. This is so cool. Oh, so many shrubs after 2 days of rain. Wow. Alright, I'm going to start heading back to the car because it's getting really dark and late. Alright. See you later, guys. Bye. Check out this tree. Wow. It's probably Shasta red fir, but it got cut on the top and now it's simply growing itself from the sides, from the burls. Amazing. Just found a whole cluster. Look. 1, 2, 3. I think there might be more. Let's check them out if they're still fresh. They're kind of big, so the big ones are sometimes already not fresh, but we're gonna unearth them anyways and see. Woohoo! We got 5 in the same cluster, and I can tell that some of them are still very fresh, like this one, for example. Look how bright white the stem is. Some of them feel a little bit soft, so that means the bugs have probably gotten to them. And these are not what considered to be grade A, right? Because the veil is open, they're fully open, but they're still extremely pungent and delicious if roasted or grilled. Let's clean them up. Brush. This one is big but super fresh. Yum. Coming out super clean. Hi. Look at this. Off we go. The mushrooms are all cleaned up and packed, and we're gonna go search for some more. Vámonos. Yes, finding more. Look, right under this tree, I just started digging because I saw this mushroom here. Somebody took it out. Oh my god, there are more. There are more all around the roots here. Oh wow. All right, let's see how many we can find. All right, so far it's this one. And sometimes, because they like this rocky soil here, sometimes they grow right next to a rock like this. You see there's a rock pushing into it, so it's gonna have a hole in it. And sometimes they just grow right around the rock. Hi! Hi! That one is gonna take some digging. Okay, let's get to it. So I was able to unearth it. It was growing sideways like this. And the little ones ended up being buggy. There were 2 little ones, and I decided not to dig for them. But this one we're gonna clean up and keep. Yum! All cleaned up. Looks like a pearl. Hello, my beautiful friends. I am taking a small break from picking matsutake, and I decided to record this video for you as it has been brewing for several days now, but I think it's ready to come out now. And
I consider myself to be a spiritual seeker. I thrive on receiving insights and revelations and truths and understandings. Um, that is my growth. That's how I grow, and that's what excites me. And since 3D world is sort of like a dashboard for our inner quantum selves, then what we do in 3D often reflects what it is that we do internally, what it is that our higher self is doing. And my higher self is certainly a spiritual seeker, my deeper self, my true self. And in 3D, for the longest time, I could not align, myself with this purpose, with this, with this understanding that that's what I love and that's what I do, and this is how I am the connector between the 3D and the 5D, and I'm going back and forth, bringing these truths, this newness, this new point of view, something that looks like a new point of view in 3D, but something that has always existed in 5D, right? In this quantum field of all knowing. And sometimes all it requires is just an open mind and a person that likes to contemplate, that likes to be in awe. And I guess that's how I was, chosen to do this mission, I guess you can say. That's the word that everybody uses. But in a way, we all have our internal mission, right? Some of us are still in the process of uncovering what that is. I've already taken the time to search for it, and now I'm here. But where I'm going with this is that now that I've changed my life in accordance to my plan, and I know how much I love to be in nature, and my life now represents this internal bridge that I'm building from quantum field into the realized world, because I am half the time in the city and half the time in the forest, exactly half the time. The moment my kiddos go to their dad, I jump into the car and I go and I spend that time in the forest, searching for mushrooms, learning the trees, and communicating with the forest, learning about the birds, learning about all this abundance that is unused. Last year I've learned how to gather acorns and how to process acorns. And if you look at it, that is such an amazing representation of that which I explained to you earlier. I connect the two worlds together, the very physical 3D city type of world and the very magical all-knowingness that is stored here in nature, in this quantum field that doesn't have all the manifestation already grounded in it, like different things and buildings and all these structures that have already grounded so much that they now manifested in 3D. Here, it's very simple. You have the sky, the earth, the trees, right? So you are closer to oneness and to unity, right? There's not that many things. And by searching for mushrooms, food it's like I'm searching for this local food, this forest food, this very natural food that belongs to this land. And since food is information, it's exactly like, me bringing these matsutake mushrooms from the forest back to LA. Similarly, I'm bringing new insight, new revelations from me to you through this channel. And I've I listened to this one podcast. It's actually a friend of mine, Gail, and she's got that calling too. And she took a big change in her life and decided to just go for it. And she's very outspoken, she's very social, and she now holds retreats, personal retreats, and group retreats to unblock people, to push them out of their nest whenever they feel like, okay, we know we're supposed to be doing something else. We know we are connected to this higher version of us, to my higher self that is like this star warrior. And all this doubt and fear, she like pushes you out of the nest with that when you're like almost there but not there yet. And it is so reminiscent of who she is in 5D. She is a guide. She is a guide manifest in 3D as Gail Fuller, and she constantly gets communication and guidance from the quantum field, from different realms here in Mount Shasta, and guides people across the line. Now, for me, it is definitely a little bit different because I am always seeking for deeper inner truths. I'm always on my own or with children, with nature or with children. So I am like this seeker who uncovers new possibilities and then presents them to you to expand your mind. And whether you choose to continue living a very physical 3D existence and not even look into the direction of 5D, you can still ground these things that I'm bringing to you even more. It is food for thought for you, right? Just like the Matsutake are food for your internal physical metabolism. These revelations from the channel are food for thought, food for inspiration to take a look at things in a different perspective, because the possibilities are absolutely endless. And sometimes we get so stuck seeing something from one direction that we need a little bit of inspiration to unlock ourselves, kind of like Gail, like pushing you out in the physical, out of your nest, so to speak. I'm giving you this mental freedom to seek for different outcomes, to seek for different possibilities, to see how can you connect with this infinite well of knowledge and infinite well of possibilities that is within you. And I'm a prime example that it is possible. And also, I wanted to say that this metaphor that I use, like that 3D, our physical world, what we see is sort of like a dashboard for everything that stands behind it or within it, I should say. The representation of the quantum field. That metaphor I borrowed from Bernardo Castro, I think his name is, and I really appreciate his explanation of that. And I was thinking, like, well, how can I come up with my own representation of that? And then I thought, well, words, words is the 3D representation of something that is much grander, right? If I was to explain it to somebody who is just beginning to feel like there is something more out there, right? That you are so much bigger than what you are in the physical world. Well, think of the words, right? There are just letters. Let's say love, right? It's LOVE. But what hides behind these letters is humongous. It's unexplainable. It has so many different potentials and variations and variants, and you can sit your whole life and try to describe what is love to you and the types of love that exist, and it'll take you a lifetime to do that, right? So that's the same with existence. Your existence in 3D is like this manifestation of something that is that stands behind it, something much grander, much bigger. Somewhere, here you might be an engineer, but in 5D you are building spaceships and crafts and relaying this information on, how to, let's say, travel between the worlds, between the dimensions. And the thing is, whatever it is that you do, it's important to feel in alignment with it, because when you're in alignment with what it is that you do in 3D, however big or small it is, there's no small thing, right? As long as it puts you in alignment with your 5D self, then you can actually communicate with your bigger, your higher self through your task, through your craft, through your work, and constantly receive communication. And it is so much fun, if not anything else. Like, let's say, how I'm learning lessons, how I communicate with my higher self. Normally, I would get insight fairly easily, right? So I don't have to meditate. I just go through life lessons, and then I contemplate, and then I receive this beautiful knowledge and spiritual insight. And sometimes I get stuck and I can't get the insight anymore, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's break time, so I back off and I dive deeper into my 3D existence. And then sometime later, I realized that even the smallest things that were happening in my 3D life were a part of a much bigger spiritual lesson. But as I evolve with these spiritual insights and gifts, what I've noticed this time on this trip is that I started going deeper into the forest, because before I used to just stay by the road and go alongside the road, and now I go all the way deep, and I know where my car is and I know how to come back to it. But I started going deeper, and so is my insight is getting deeper. And I also, my higher self is showing to me that with the Matsutake is the perfect example to learn this lesson, that the ones that you can see above ground are great. They're amazing. You can eat them, but they're not that what everybody is looking for, meaning like they're not grade A Matsutakes. So the ones that are the best tasting Matsutake, the ones that are the most flavorful and prized, they hide under the ground, and it takes tremendous amount of training and skill to be able to find them without having to, rake or dig for them with the knife, harming the nature around you. So that is what my higher self is teaching me right now, is that I have to sit down under each tree and look at the patterning and see where, not only at the patterning of the leaves, there might be not even, my nails are all black, there might be not even a tiny shrub. There might be no indication of mushrooms, but they're there. No indication of inside, right? But it's well hidden within the physical thing. So I have to use my intuition, and then I have to actually dig for it, and then voila, sometimes I come across these incredible specimens that I would have never found if I didn't actually now had the skill to do it. So it is such a reflection between two worlds, between my quantum world, my quantum self, and my 3D self, my physical body self. I'm learning, it's like I'm constantly, like a infinity sign. I'm constantly merging between the worlds, and I can be here seemingly on my own, but I'm surrounded by what someone would call spirit guides. I'm surrounded by the all, by the infinite. I'm surrounded by what you might call God or universe or universal consciousness. I'm in constant flow of communication. They say, okay, well, if you want to get better, deeper insights, you have to slow down. You have to really spend time under one tree. There is no more rushing. There is no more skipping. It's really now just you and your development of this spiritual gift, of seeing and knowing where the inside or the best mushroom is hiding. And I'm so thankful for the ability to see these lessons. And every time I'm here in the forest completely on my own, I'm not alone, and I'm not doing anything. Actually, I'm doing now more than I've ever done in my life while searching for my purpose, and not to say that discount all that experience. I loved all of my jobs, and I was always like, but I think there is something more, and then I have found it. And it's like walking through the forest with guides and teachers who are constantly showing me, communicating to me through my mind and telling me like, well, you can just look at the surface. You're already good at that. You're good at finding mushrooms that are on the surface. You're intuitively driven to those trees that have them, right? You can spot them from far away. I already know the patterning, and I already can see the lessons when they're coming in within my mental, emotional realm. I can feel, I can think, I know. But now it's about going a little bit deeper, slowing down a little bit more, and searching for those very subtle signs of where the gift might be hidden, of where the spiritual understanding might be hidden. And that's how it is. And I see so many people transitioning into this way of living, of, actually going for it. And I wish you to unlock that within yourself. I wish you to figure out, look at your 3D life now, figure out a skill, because I think what's confusing is you think that in order to be spiritual, you have to do something absolutely spiritual, like you have to sit and meditate, or what am I going to do? No, there are things that you can do exactly in the physical that are going to be in so much alignment with your spiritual higher self. You will just know. You will just know. And it might be something as very simple as let's say becoming like a cleaning lady and organizing other people's stuff, right? And that will represent you being this head librarian in the Akashic records, right? Where you sort through things and you organize and you help people sort through their life. There is no work. Actually, all these little jobs are much bigger jobs, right? Than some would think, right? And it is simply figure out what it is that you love doing the most. For me, it was like, I love being with children and I love being in the forest. It's so simple. So go be with children and be in the forest and watch the world unfold. And it is. It's unfolding in the most magical of ways. And there is no more fear of tomorrow. I know that I'm fully, completely supported, even with these mushrooms, the acorns, the berries that I've been finding. If only I know how to process them, which I'm learning all the time. Every year, it's something new and something new. Then here goes my food. But what it tells me is that I can support myself with this insight, with the gift of spiritual knowing and spiritual information. And just like I can support, my metabolism with the mushrooms that I find here in this forest, and what is a physical dashboard representation of my quantum field, of this infinite well of information and knowing and newness. All right, I love you guys. I'm gonna head up a little bit higher on this mountain that I'm on. and see if I can get some more matsutake. And then we're going to head back down and into the oak woodlands to get a bunch of acorns and make some delicious, delicious crepes for my kids. I made some last year and they were a hit. And imagine how that microbiome can connect us to our mother California that we live in if we eat directly from the land and from these native things that have been growing here for eons. Well, if I get a ton of acorns, I will let everyone know. If I'm able to process a whole lot of acorn flour, I will let you guys know, and I will share it with you so you can taste, feel this pure knowledge, this pure information that was here all along, that somehow got covered up by everything old that we've brought in. All right, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day today. I know you will. I believe.